soon. I'm your host, Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Prime Time Wrestling. Some tremendous matchups this week here on Prime Time, and our feature is just a classic. Tito Santana, former Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, taking on the natural Butch Reed. You don't have any money involved there, do you?
No, I don't have any money involved.
Well,
you're awful nosy asking me those personal things.
I'm going to get a lot more personal in this particular program this week. You're going to be cornered. You're going to answer the questions I have to propose to you about Andre the Giant's reinstatement here to the World Wrestling
when you talk
Federation.
about the natural Butch Reed, you've got to notice one important thing.
No, you're starting already. You're evading the questions already.
I'm doing my job as the host.
I said I'm going to present them to you. I'm not presenting them to you right at this particular point in time.
Oh, I have a reprieve,
before this 2 hours is over, you're going to get it.
You're going to flip the switch, hit me with the heavy juice, right?
You got it. You got it.
Good luck.
Well, I'll tell you, some
better people than you have tried to outsmart me, and it can't be done.
Well, we'll see about that. We have Pedro Morales joining us again this week against Dino Bravo, the turncoat from north of the border, so to speak.
Why would you say that about Morales?
No, I'm not talking about Morales. I'm talking about that devious individual that luscious Johnny V obviously, shall we say, spread a little money under his nose.
Money talks.
Money talks.
You know, if I wanted to, I could get enough money right now together and get you out of retirement and have me manage it.
Please.
You'd go for it.
Give me a break.
I can hit you with a figure right now. You go for it.
Please, give me a break. I tell you, you never cease to amaze me. Right now, we're going to go to Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens. Dino Bravo taking on the great here in the World Wrestling Federation, Pedro Morales. Let's go to the ring.
$35.
$35.
This contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, the manager, luscious Johnny V. And from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, weighing 255 pounds, Dino Bravo. His opponent from Puerto Rico, weighing 248 pounds, Pedro Morales.
Pedro Morales, Mr. Everything here in the World Wrestling Federation. Billy Red, what's happened to Dino Bravo?
I was just going to ask you the same thing, Gina. You know, since he's come under the tutelage of Johnny V, he has changed his style. Johnny V claims that he sees something in Dino Bravo that nobody else has. Claims he's going to take him right to the top.
Well, the only reason I know that guys do that, Billy, is that a lot of money is waved in front of their face.
Exactly.
Of course, Johnny V is not above doing that, but I thought Dino Bravo was above accepting anything like that.
Well, there you go. You see, just when you think a fella has both feet on the ground, you got his head on right, something like this happens.
Well, been a friend of mine for over a decade, and I thought I knew the guy pretty well, but it's amazing what can transpire when the green stuff gets floating around in front of you.
That's for sure. I've known him for a number of years also, and I was surprised as you were when he signed up with Johnny V, and especially the style that he's using now.
You know, he had a tremendously successful career the way he was going.
He certainly did.
You know, was he not Canadian heavyweight champion?
Yes, going back a number of years, he was Canadian heavyweight champion.
At one time was a co-holder of the Canadian Tag Team Championship, I believe, along the way somewhere.
Right, and he's always been right in the top 10, one of the leading contenders at all times.
Well,
but he has never captured that big one. He has never been the world champion, Gino.
Well, he's in there right now with a former world champion, and if he can put away Morales, that'll show me something.
Yes, and it'll show me something too, because this Morales, he can do it all.
He certainly can. No stranger to the squared circle. Not many men have compiled a victory streak like Pedro Morales has in his tenure here in the World Wrestling Federation. Started out as the Intercontinental Champion, went from there to the World's Heavyweight Champion, and while he was holding that, even managed to get his hands briefly on the World Tag Team title.
Yes, he's done it all.
Of course, he had to relinquish that. You can't hold both of those titles at the same time, but he had a piece of it. Not too many guys you can look in the record book, and not too many guys' names will fall into that triple category.
No, not at all. You can probably count them on one hand.
Nice shot by our number 6 camera right over the shoulder of luscious Johnny V. As usual, tremendous camera work done here in Toronto. Now, in the old days, you would never see Dino Bravo go to the ropes to break a hole.
Never.
You know, he knows 47 different counters for just about every hole there is. But right now, looking for a little words of encouragement and words of advice from what I consider to be at times a fountain of misinformation in Johnny V.
That's for sure. Well, that's Johnny V. You know, he's been known to stretch the truth a little. Somebody told me he used to get his neighbor to call his dog. I don't know how true that is.
Morales with a nice shoulder block, but the powerful upper body of Bravo enables him to kick out of there easily. And when Morales starts clapping those hands, you know he's ready. He hasn't fluctuated 20 pounds in body weight over the past 10 years.
Oh, I've known Pedro for about 12 years, and I would say his weight has got to be within 2 or 3 pounds of what it was 12 years ago.
Well, when he was world's heavyweight champion, he weighed in at about 257 pounds, and now he was listed tonight as 248, so it's right in the ballpark. Oh, atomic drop, well executed by the former champion. And Dino decides to take a hike for himself. Might be a smart move. Old tailbone will be tingling for a while.
Yes, that's where it gets you.
Make it a little difficult to be sitting on the airplane or in front of the telly.
You're too good for that.
Johnny said you're doing a good job.
What else is he going to tell him? He's got him swerved into changing his style. Probably got taking a good piece of his purse.
Well, you can bet on that. He's always taking a good chunk of the money, especially from the Dream Team.
Oh,
Greg Valentine and Brutus Beefcake, former World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champions. Of course, their title went down the tubes in the Rosemont Horizon in Chicago, part of WrestleMania. And Morales with that awesome left hand once he starts winding that thing up. Best head for higher ground. Referee getting on his case about not letting the man out of the corner. I don't think so much about the closed fist. In a match like this, you ought to get the referee, put him in a corner, and tell him to stay there. And let these guys go at it and do their thing, and the better man will come out on top.
That's right. Just let him go to it.
As long as Johnny V doesn't get involved.
I don't think there's any two wrestlers in the game today that could be more evenly matched than Bravo and Morales.
Absolutely not. Tide is turned here, and it's now Bravo unloading. And Morales down on the canvas. Of course, he's no stranger to that position either. Right down on the apron to do some further damage. Referee right there, making him get back in.
Well, 6 months ago, Gino.
Oh, look at that cheap shot. Luscious John got in a cheap shot to the blind side of the referee. Well, he can do that better than anybody I know. Morales upside down. Oh, came down shoulder and neck first. Look out. Being distracted now, the referee intentionally. Oh, look at it. Give me a break. Morales got to catch him with one shot, and he'll be sorry.
That's for sure. Now, you know, if the referee had seen that, though, Gino, this one would have been all over.
Automatic disqualification.
Absolutely.
Look, he's standing there now, nonchalantly, like nothing has transpired. Nothing's gone down. Pedro Morales having a whole lot of trouble with luscious Johnny V. I'm sure that he's taken a few pages out of your book. So did you teach him how to be distractive out there?
No, I didn't.
We're a long way from being over with this particular
Excited for the
match.
questions?
No, I've got a whole lot of questions to propose to you in the very near future. We'll be back with the conclusion in a moment.
Go ahead,
right now
ask.
that later on in the
ahead.
program, we're
on.
going to see some footage of WWF President Jack Tunney. We're going to get further into this Andre situation, I'll tell you that. Right now, fans, it's time to go back to Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens as we take a look at Pedro Morales trying to put away Dino Bravo. Let's go to the ring.
You go to the ring.
Words of encouragement to his man. In the meantime, you nail Morales at least a half a dozen times. Handful of hair as Morales rammed, shoulder first right into the steel post. He hung him out to dry. This is a completely different Dino Bravo than I've ever seen.
Absolutely. As recent as 6 months ago, less than that, you wouldn't have seen Dino Bravo do something like that.
Suplex coming up. Oh, well executed. Morales might have the wind knocked out of him. Could be all over here. 2 count. Nope. Managed to get that right arm and shoulder out of there. I think luscious Johnny was a little upset that he didn't get the 3 count there.
Yes, I think he thought he had it right in the bag right there.
A lot of good men thought they could put Pedro Morales away and were very rudely awakened.
Yes, they a lot of times they ran into that left you were talking about earlier, and it was all over.
Yes.
Look at a blatant chokehold right in front of the referee.
Well, he knows he's got a 3 or 4 count to get out of there before he's disqualified.
Right.
But what a turnaround here of events in the career of Dino Bravo. Not going to pin Morales that way, I'm sorry. Very nonchalant cover there. You've got to have Morales in a whole heck of a lot more compromised position than that to get a 3 count. Morales driven through the ropes again out onto the ramp. In fact, both men out there now. Referee will start laying the count on both of them. Look out. Slam on the hardwood. Whoa. Morales is going to have a little trouble in the next few weeks down the line as the back is taking tremendous punishment in this match. That lower lumbar area, he may need some chiropractic assistance.
I was going to say he'll need a date maybe with the chiropractor in the morning.
Johnny V very pleased with things as they're going at this particular point in time. And obviously Dino Bravo very happy with his performance. Just waiting now, setting him up. Not going to wait any longer. He's going out after him. Morales in trouble, but with enough presence of mind to scoot underneath that bottom rope before he gets counted out of there. Well, fight fire with fire. Stuck a thumb right into the eye of Bravo.
Well, that's the way to do it. Like you said, you know, fight fire with fire. And Morales really at a disadvantage here.
Big left hand and another one. Sends the Canadian backwards. Uh-oh, Morales has got his dander up now. That Latin blood is flowing hot right now. He's winding up. Haymaker. Look at Bravo. He doesn't have a clue where he is. This tremendous crowd here is getting with it.
Out he goes, right out of the timekeeper's table.
And Morales right out after him. Rams him right into the table here at ringside. Look out. Luscious Johnny V sneaking up behind. Morales might be catching a glimpse of him. He better keep an eye on him. And shoulder first. Oh, he's got them both down. Look out. Double noggin knocker. Yes.
Wow, Morales has really certainly turned this one around. There he goes after Johnny V.
Gonna give him another shot. Oh, rammed him right into the table as well. What happened to his glasses he had on a moment ago? They're gone. Managers have to pay the price too, Red.
Absolutely.
The bell is ringing. I don't know what for. Maybe Johnny V was ringing it. Maybe they were both counted outside the ring with a Boston Crab now. Morales, he thinks he's won the match. No. I believe both men have been counted outside the ring here, Ed.
That's the way it looks to me.
And the manager really in trouble. Let's find out for sure. Let's go to the ring announcer.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this contest by a countout, Dino Bravo.
Oh. Morales, I guess, just as he was rolling Bravo back into the ring, got him in before the 10 count.
Yeah, he stayed out 2 counts too long.
Morales doesn't believe it. He can't believe it. He wants another piece of these two. And look at luscious Johnny V dragging his man away.
Well, Gino, I think you'll agree with me. Morales, he won the match but lost the decision.
Yeah. He lost the battle, but he might have won the war. Morales doesn't want this one to be over. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him. Both out there an awful long time on the floor. And Johnny raising Bravo's arm in a token of victory. Well, what a cheap victory that is if it holds up. And it certainly appears that way. Pedro Morales, victim of a countout here in Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens. Your winner, There he is. Take a good look at him. Dino Bravo will be back. Pedro Morales was very difficult to live with following that match. You know, Pedro Morales,
He'd be difficult to live with if he won the match.
he hates with a passion any time that it reads in a record book that Pedro Morales was defeated.
Well, then he must be mad all the time.
Oh, you would love to have somebody in your stable, family, with a kind of record that Pedro Morales possessed. I'll tell you that right now.
You don't know anything about his record. In 1959, when he was 16 years old, they got him on. No, I was a bad bum charge on that one.
Please, are you inferring anything?
No, those hubcaps belong to somebody else.
You're an
but they were
honorable
left at
person.
his house. It wasn't that.
They tell me that you were an honorable person. You kept saying, yes, Your Honor. No, Your Honor. I will, Your Honor. You want to tell
You know what
us
the
about
5
those?
words are that go along with Pedro Morales in a 3-piece suit? Will the defendant please rise?
Please, give me a break. You're going to be the defendant shortly because I'm going to put it to you and find out exactly what's going on.
I got a
as far as
surprise
Andre
call
the
coming
Giant
too
is
that you
concerned.
don't.
Fans, in our quest to keep you up to date as far as the status of Ricky the Dragon Steamboat is concerned, we're going to bring you a special interview that took place with Mean Gene Okerlund and our resident physician here in the World Wrestling Federation, Dr. Bob Panovich, as he is taking a very, very close look at Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and that larynx injury that may put him out forever.
I thought he was out
professional
forever.
wrestling. Who said that? Nobody ever said that. Let's go to the
That's
tape.
just wishful thinking.
With me at this time, Dr. Bob Panovich, the chief physician for the World Wrestling Federation, very vivid in the minds of millions of wrestling fans around the world. The recent injury to Ricky the Dragon Steamboat at the hands of Macho Man Randy Savage. Doctor, your assessment of Steamboat's injury.
Well, Ricky Steamboat received a crushed larynx and very severe damage to his vocal cords in this injury.
All right, in layman's terms, doctor, just exactly what does that mean? Is it life-threatening?
Very much so. He was gasping for air and having trouble breathing. All of his vital signs were compromised at one time.
All right, I understand that his wife eyewitnessed that particular incident, and she became hysterical, which I can understand.
Absolutely. I was quite frightened myself.
Okay, the outlook for Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. In your opinion, doctor, is there a strong possibility he's going to be able to return to professional wrestling?
I worry about that possibility. I think that the injury...
What do you advise?
I think that he should quit professional wrestling.
All right, that is the latest status report from Dr. Bob Panovich. Doctor, I thank you.
Thank you.
Fans, you know, there have been thousands of letters come in already, people concerned about the status of Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. And
There'd have been a lot more mail, but his wife ran out of stamps.
are you going to be nasty now? For the
No,
next
I'm not going to
2
be
hours?
nasty. I'm just tell it like it is.
Because I can cool your case in just a second. You know, let me ask you this. Why do you think that, Bobby, answer me this plainly. Give me a straight answer for once. Why did Danny Davis get involved in that match as well?
Because he's a humanitarian. He was
He's a
concerned
humanitarian.
with referee Dave Hebner. You know,
Please,
he came
had
in
no
and helped him out.
business whatsoever in there. Well, if Danny Davis wasn't in enough trouble already, he had to interject himself in that match some way, shape, or form. I'll tell you what, we're going to get to the bottom of this because Gene Okerlund finally caught up with him. Let's go to the footage.
With me at this time, World Wrestling Federation official referee, Danny Davis. Recently, Mr. Davis, you were involved in a very controversial match involving Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and the Intercontinental Champion, Macho Man Randy Savage. Now, I happen to know for a fact that the official referee assigned to that match was none other than Dave Hebner. Yet, for some reason, you interjected yourself. Exactly why, Mr. Davis, were you there?
That's none of your business.
Mr. Davis, I don't feel that's quite adequate. As that sensational match between these two tremendous athletes progressed, once again, you chose to interject yourself as these two men went at it tooth and nail.
I thought it was the right thing to do.
You thought it was the right thing to do?
Exactly.
For the record, Mr. Davis, let me point out the sensational career of Ricky the Dragon Steamboat right now is in jeopardy. This man who is revered by millions throughout the world, suffering a very serious injury to his larynx. This man may never wrestle again. Is there any guilt? Are there any reservations within you yourself that you may be in part responsible for the end to Mr. Steamboat's career?
Not at all. The way I figure it, that's the breaks.
Well, in my opinion, and I think the American public deserves some answers, you're giving me nothing. I think you've lost all sense of objectivity. And this isn't the first time that this man has been embroiled in controversy. Who are you?
Have you been coaching Danny Davis on how to answer questions, direct questions?
No, but he certainly has given direct answers. It was simple answers as how the man feels. Now, I don't condone a lot of things referees do. I don't particularly care for any referees. But I'm just going to be honest. Mr. Davis is saying it like it is. He was concerned for Hebner. That's what I thought.
He was concerned for Hebner. The match hadn't even started. At one point, he was out there. How
Maybe
could he be
saw
concerned
something
at that point?
I don't know. I'm not a referee. Why don't you ask me how to do brain surgery? I'm not a brain surgeon either.
Before this week is over. Wrestling fans, we'll be back in just a moment.
Boy.
Cowboy Frankie Lane about to appear here this week on Prime Time Wrestling against Jose Luis Rivera. We're going to join this match in progress. And after this match, I'm going to get on your case. And I'm going to pin you down as to what's going on in the World Wrestling Federation. Who are you calling now?
Calling Miss Betty? Get a hold of my attorney. You're not going to pin me down.
Well, I'm telling you right now, you're either going to answer some questions here or you're going to be in deep, deep hot water. We're going to go to ringside. Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens. Cowboy Frankie Lane, Jose Luis Rivera. Let's go.
Make a call. You lost your baggage today. Is that true, Monster?
Absolutely fact.
That's a shame. You should be nicer to those skycaps.
On a non-stop flight.
On a non-stop flight.
Thank you, Air Canada.
Your bags are probably changing right now in Omaha somewhere.
Armbar in control right now. Frankie Lane over Jose Luis Rivera. Interesting matchup here.
I want to tell our listening audience out there that yours truly, Luscious JV here, is going to be at ringside in the next match. That's going to pit whomever I'm going to be managing. Of course, it's going to be Dino Bravo.
Now wait a minute. You're supposed to stay here in the broadcast position. You're not supposed to be wandering around.
I've known to wander upon occasion. In fact, They used to call me the Old Wanderer.
You resemble that remark.
That's not a Frankie Lane either.
New York City born and bred.
That's right.
Johnny V making his mark in the wrestling world as Frankie Lane continues put the pressure on the elbow, bicep area. Now he's going to work on the wrist.
Well, he's doing the old-fashioned approach now. I'm talking about starting out nice, sweet, and easy, and slowly getting your man, your wrestling, getting them all perturbed, starting to wear them out, and that's exactly what you see Lane doing here, trying to stay on top of Rivera.
Well, he was looking for some kind of recognition from the fans here in the Garden, but he didn't get any. Oh, look at that. Knee right into the sternum area. Rivera with some momentum. He's ready to plant one. And a wise move by the veteran, Frankie Lane, as he takes a hike out onto the platform.
And Frankie Lane says, who, me? Yeah, you.
I believe this is the only arena that I know of, Johnny V, with a platform leading to the ring in all of the wrestling world. I can't ever remember another one anywhere.
I can't either, and I've been in each and every one of them. This is the only one.
Oh, tried a little Pearl Harbor job there, a little sneak attack, but Rivera, with a peripheral vision, caught him coming in.
You know, this Rivera, ladies and gentlemen, I do give this young athlete credit. You know, he is in darn good shape.
Always stays in good shape.
Yes, he does. Well taken care of.
Got rid of him in a hurry. Crisscross coming up. Who's going to make the switch? Rivera drops down in front. Over the top goes Lane. Uh-oh, Rivera stopped him. Oh. Wow, I can't believe a ring veteran fell for that, John.
Well,
one of the oldest tricks in the book.
When it goes back to that record book, you're going to see that Frankie's come up short of the mark there several times. It could be the moves like that.
Crisscross once again, and it's Lane who drops down this time and drops down once again. Rivera's going to outsmart him again. Turned his back. You can't do that and be successful anyway.
You can never take your eye off your opponent. And both of those guys should know that.
Frankie looking for a clean break. Rivera's about to give it to him.
The referee kind of looked like he was directing a Mitch Miller quartet there for a second. I don't know if you caught that or not, but I was...
Stepped right between him.
Yeah.
Kind of a dangerous thing to be doing.
Kind of looks like Joe the bartender, if you want to know the truth. He's kind of got that neighborhood bar look about him, the referee. You know, a bartender. I used to hang around in a certain bar around Chicago.
Are you insinuating that Terry Yorkston would have a few now and then?
Well, I'm sure that he's had quite a few.
What you're trying to say?
In fact, I mean, you know, I'm not saying he's a reformed alcoholic, but the man looked like he's buttoned his arm there now.
Rivera now unloading with some right hands. Shoots him in, plants one right in the lower abdomen. Nice knee, well delivered. Rivera can do it any way you want to do it. You want a nice, clean, scientific match, he'll give you that. You want to mix it up.
He's been in there with the best of them, Monsoon.
Oh, he has.
He's been in there with the best of them.
Was undefeated there for a while here in the World Wrestling Federation, and then ran into some real stiff competition, but is climbing back up the ladder once again.
I give the devil his due there. The son of a gun, he hangs right in there. He meets the toughest they have here in WWF, and he's still there. He's still coming back for more.
Well, we're some 10 minutes into this match, and neither one with a real superior edge, I would say, at this point. It started out Frankie Lane, and now it's gone to Jose Luis Rivera. Didn't catch the announcement of what the time limit is on this match, but it could easily expire with the
I certainly hope it's not a 1 hour time limit, because to me they look even Steven here. And I'll tell you something right now. I've been sitting in an airplane all day. I really don't want to sit here for an hour and watch this, you know. But you know, be surprised.
No, it's not an hour time limit.
You're sure?
You can bet on that.
Because these guys look like they go all night here.
Uh-oh, put something in his mouth.
What are you talking about?
Obviously getting some static from the ringsiders. But he poked Rivera right in the eye with something.
You know, speaking of the ringsiders here up here in Toronto, there's not some shy people here, you know, that pay their good and hard-earned money to sit ringside. There's a lot of some characters out there, you know.
There's some characters right here.
Yes, you wouldn't be insinuating on me, would you?
No, I didn't. No.
Well, I certainly hope not.
Rivera, the worst for wear here is he caught one in the eye, and I don't care what kind of shape you're in, that'll take you out of the ball game in a hurry. Now he's out onto the ramp. Now, why do a move like that, John? The object is to beat your opponent.
Well, I would think so. He had the guy, you know, he should have tried to put him away. Go for a finishing hold.
Got him in a compromising position, and he didn't try to beat him. He just threw him outside the ring.
That's
to
right.
me, that's a mistake.
It's ridiculous. See, we agree on things.
Yes.
Hey, I'm a jovial sort, Monsoon. Hey, you say something. Oh, hey, I'll work right with you.
Okay.
Hey. I think Rivera, I don't know if Rivera, rather, I don't want to make him a Hindu or whatever. I said Rivera. Rivera, he looks to me like he's trying to collect his thoughts out there. Let me tell you something. You can't collect your thoughts, Rivera. You got to get in there and wham him. Take over on that man. Slam him. Kick him. Punch him.
Well, John, you're no stranger to the squared circle. You know what it's like to get something stuck in your eye. You know what kind of pain that involves.
Oh, that's right. My ophthalmologist, he'll agree, too, with that.
Rivera now starting to unload his own Irish whip in. Oh, reversal by Lane. Caught him right in the breadbasket.
Is this a concrete cowboy, this Frankie Lane, or is he really from the range, you figure?
I believe he's from the range out in Calgary somewhere. Rivera put his head down. He can't do that. Not to be successful here in the World Wrestling Federation.
You know what I mean when I say a concrete cowboy, Monsoon.
Yes, absolutely. Rivera hard into the turnbuckle. Shoulder block followed in nicely by Lane. Rivera's in trouble. Winding him up once again. Give him a little chop there for good measure. Rivera into the corner again. Look out. Slipped up into the back.
Oh, nice move.
Oh, reverse roll up. He's going to get him. He got him.
Good move by Rivera.
Jose Luis Rivera had to go to the well there as Frankie Lane was really doing a number on him, but manages to get the Duke anyway. Let's go up and get the official word.
Here is your winner, Jose Luis Rivera.
Jose Luis Rivera with a hard-fought victory right here in Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens. Chalked that one up in the record books as a winner for the youngster from Puerto Rico. We'll be back. Well, Cowboy Frankie Lane certainly had the experience, but the youth and determination was on the side of Jose Luis Rivera, and maybe the youngsters once again on the winning track here in the world. Whom are you speaking with? Whom are you speaking with?
Just a moment. Talking to Miss Betty, my secretary.
Okay, I have a message for her.
You do?
Yeah, I understand. You know, I have some friends that were at the Thanksgiving get-together, and they told me that you didn't deliver the surprise that you were going to get from Miss Betty. You were supposed to deliver her breakfast in bed, but you couldn't get the forklift through the bedroom door.
What do you mean?
Did you tell her that? I doubted that you'd tell her that.
I'm conducting other business. I never promised her breakfast in bed.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
She doesn't eat off a forklift either, you know.
Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Are you implying she has the same appetite as Bundy?
No, larger, considerably larger. We'll be back with some very interesting news here in the World Wrestling Federation in just a moment. We're going to trap somebody.
Yeah, no.
We're back, fans, and about to return to Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens. Coming up, a special match of special importance. Steve Lombardi, now I understand under the tutelage of one Louis Dondero, and Terry Garvin has a piece of his contract as well.
Yeah, they own a piece of them, all right.
You familiar with that? The opposition, a newcomer and soon-to-be star, I'm sure, in the world of professional wrestling, one Paul Roma. Of late has teamed up with Special Delivery Jones, and they are exciting indeed. Let's go to Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens right now.
Bolt you right to the top.
Special match. Let's go.
What a mecca.
Ladies and gentlemen, this contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Brooklyn, New York, weighing 246 pounds, Steve Lombardi. His opponent, from Kensington, New York, weighing 235 pounds, Paul Roma.
Well, here you see a matchup here. Perhaps it's not a main event, but it certainly is a pro match coming here from the Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, Ontario. Of course, yours truly right here, Johnny V, describing the action. You know, this Paul Roma, if I could pick somebody that's an up-and-coming, perhaps a star, and not perhaps at this date of the telecast, perhaps a future date. Paul Roma, I think, is his name to be felt around the East Coast and the West Coast, and who knows, maybe even up here in Canada. He's with a ring-wise veteran, though, in Steve Lombardi.
Oh, Roma, Johnny, has a world reputation now from down under in Australia. I understand he was very successful down there with Special Delivery Jones and some tag team matchups.
Yeah, he's coming along. Roma's coming along. There's no doubt about it. He's a good-looking rascal, too. I think he's broke a few hearts in his day. He's not exactly one of the ugliest guy to ever to don the tights.
I don't think he'd have any problem getting a date for Saturday night.
Now, Lombardi, I don't know. He may have trouble getting a date for Monday night, but Steve's got that typical Brooklyn, New York accent, and he's a rough, tough cookie. Don't make any mistake about that. He's very self-assertive. He's arrogant as can be. Nice hold there.
Were you responsible in any way for him getting involved in the world of professional wrestling, being that you're both from the Big Apple?
Well, I've gave him some pointers here and there along the line, and
in other words, he's in trouble.
Yes, he is in dire trouble.
Side headlock now by Roma.
Of course, they're both of the Italian descent, aren't they?
Yes.
Already.
Oh, nice shoulder block by the youngster. Lombardi, you know, for all the good things he does, sometimes he has no rhyme or reason inside that square.
Well, he's got like a kamikaze type style about him. You know, he does stuff without thinking. He's like some people. I don't know. There's even broadcasters in pro wrestling that talk, you know, and they think later. You know what I mean? They shoot their mouth off. They're full of accusations.
But you can't be successful that way.
No, you can't. You know, I don't know if you're catching the drift of this conversation or not, Monsoon, but there's been time and time again that I've heard you, in a very accusative way, refer to my dream team as breaking the rules and robbing this guy and this and that. And you know something? I want to take this airtime, very valuable airtime right now, and say for you, thanks a lot, pal. You really make my day.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Coming from you, I consider that a compliment.
All right.
Thank you. Where is the Dream Team these days? Are they on tour somewhere?
They are certainly on tour, even as we speak. They are known from coast to coast like Bordenhouse Toast, and a very successful tour out there on the West Coast. San Diego, Sacramento, Los Angeles, Sacramento.
Have they given up thoughts now of ever regaining the tag team championship from the British Bulldogs?
We still have that. We have an open challenge to those squirrels, and in any way, shape, or form, any town, we're ready, pal.
I understand that in a recent title defense, which didn't turn out too well for the Dream Team, that Brutus Beefcake was bitten by Matilda. Is there any fact to that?
That is true. I'm glad you brought that up. He was bitten by that creep of a dog, that flea-infested air traffic dog they got. You know that dog, these British Bulldogs, I understand that dog goes with those squirrels from town to town. That dog's got to be so jet-lagged that it's got to be unpathetic. And I also heard that he's a frequent flyer with U.S. Air. Isn't that pathetic? There's people that are dying to go fly in an airplane, and that dog has to take up a seat on an airplane. That's ridiculous. As Steve Lombardi fights his way out of a hole.
Lombardi used one right to the kisser to get out of that side headlock, but Roma gets through. Oh, nice leapfrog. Oh, got caught by a clothesline.
Good move. Look at the look on this guy's face. Bellevue State Hospital type deal, you know?
Wow. Strange person.
Very strange.
Scoops him up. Possible. Oh, backbreaker. Nicely executed. Lombardi does some nice things, but as we stated earlier, most times doesn't have any rhyme or reason to them. And
well, that's just it. See?
He's not thinking 2 or 3 moves ahead of time like you have to be successful.
But he's got what it takes. The man can absorb and take a lot of punishment, Steve Lombardi. He can dish it out, too.
His face is a testament to that.
Yes, it is.
Oh, what was he biting? Ah, come on.
Well, something like that. No, I didn't help him along the lines of that. But, I mean, you got to do what you got to do in there. You know that, Monsoon.
Yeah,
do you miss wrestling at all, Monsoon? Do you really, do you miss putting on the tights?
Do I miss these young, powerful, super heavyweights of today, these young guys trying to beat on my old body? No, I don't miss that a bit, John.
You don't?
No.
I just wondered. I thought maybe I'd throw that in. You know, maybe some of the fans are out there.
Absolutely not. No.
I was going to say, because I don't miss you either in there. You know,
I'm sure you don't.
You know, you're one less person I have to worry about, you know.
I understand most of your men had a big party when I retired.
Certainly did.
I wasn't even invited.
Well, you were the reason we threw it, you know.
Oh, nice drop down. Over the top goes Roma. Wow. He got a little help from Lombardi and is now getting a taste of the concrete. Well, not yet. He fell down off
Roma
onto the
looks
table.
like a guy that just got done writing the preamble to the Constitution or something. He just stayed up all night. What's he doing there? Is he asleep or what?
Well, he fell on that steel chair and he's sort of balanced there.
You see now, here's one thing right now. I take it for what it's worth, Monsoon. Lombardi should be out there on the guy right now. Don't let this guy regain and regroup.
In other words, go right outside the ring.
Go out into the Main Street USA.
Continue the attack.
That's it.
Even though it's illegal, do it.
That's right, do it. That's how you build a reputation. That's how you advance yourself in the WWF. You got to have that take charge attitude, that killer instinct.
Win at any cost.
Win at any cost. Just win. That's the difference in a so-so guy and a great wrestler.
Look at this. Rake of the eyes along the top rope by Lombardi. He might have learned that from you.
Could have. He could have observed that.
Things not looking too well right at this particular point in time for Paul Roma.
It's not looking as rosy as Lombardi's trunks right now. No, it's not. In fact, they both have red trunks on.
Kind of wishing he were back in Kensington, maybe.
Yeah.
Got a little breather there as he planted one right on the back of the head of Lombardi.
You know, this kid packs a wallop, this Roma. He's an avid bodybuilder. He's got a good amateur background. He's well all-around athlete. Good balance, good leverage, excellent shape, youth, everything. All the attributions of a qualified pro wrestler.
You've got to know how to put somebody away, John. You got to know how to set him up and take him out.
That's it.
Lombardi right between the ropes and rammed that left shoulder. Look, he might have hit the steel post. Hard to tell from our vantage point, but he's holding it like he did. Roma seeing the opportunity, taking advantage of the situation. Irish whip in, look out, backdrop. That won't help your sacroiliac at all.
They sure do hurt, I'll tell you. There's many a guy walking cockeyed down the airports these days of USA from those backdrops, slams over the top ropes.
Look out once again. Plants one right on the sternum area.
You know, this crowd up here at the Maple Leaf Gardens, you know, they're all watching this match. They appreciate this kind of a match.
Oh, nice power slam. Could be all over. He's got the leg hook. Referee right there. It is over.
It is over. Paul Roma got himself a victory here in Toronto.
Hard-fought victory as Lombardi gave him all he wanted, but the hand raised in a token of victory. Let's get the official word.
Here is your winner, Paul Roma.
Paul Roma out of Kensington, New York, victorious here over another New Yorker, Steve Lombardi. Great future ahead for the youngster, Paul Roma. From Toronto, Maple Leaf Gardens, Gorilla Monsoon along with Johnny V will be back. Mark the name down in your wrestling history book, Paul Roma, because you're going to be seeing a lot more of that youngster here in the World Wrestling Federation in time to come. He's something else.
Who?
You're something else. And we're
Thank you very much.
We're going to have a special interrogation of this gentleman.
Oh, aren't you going to read me my rights?
In just a moment. Wrestling fans, in our quest to bring you up to date as to what's happening in the Andre reinstatement here to the World Wrestling Federation, last week we took you to London where the news actually came from the first time. This week I take a former colleague of mine, Jesse the Body Ventura, a man who vows to get to the bottom of everything. We put him with WWF President Jack Tunney, who let out some serious information, I understand, which you will hear about in a moment. Let's go to the tape.
Ladies and gentlemen, you all know who I am, Jesse the Body Ventura. But a lot of fans out there in the World Wrestling Federation might not know who this dude is. So let me tell you who this is. This is Jack Tunney, president of the World Wrestling Federation. Now, Mr. Tunney, and I use the Mr. very loosely, but Mr. Tunney, last week, right here in the World Wrestling Federation, I saw Andre the Giant reinstated back as a professional wrestler. Correct. With full privileges, Andre the Giant is back as a professional wrestler.
Yes, he is.
He is. Now, I gotta know something. How could this take place, Mr. Tunney? I mean, you suspended the man for not showing up for wrestling appearances, and just like that, out of the clear blue, the man is brought back into wrestling? Tell me.
Let me tell you, Jesse, the hearing I presided over as the president of WWF was the most unusual one I've ever attended.
Hearing?
The hearing, yes. And
well, what went on at this hearing?
Well, the outcome was just bizarre. Just bizarre.
Well, tell us. I mean, the camera's out there. I want to know. The people want to know.
Well, I'd rather not say too much at the moment.
Well, wait a minute, Tunney. Andre the Giant's back wrestling. You don't want to talk about it. Was Andre at this hearing?
No, Andre was not at the meeting.
No? You're telling me he doesn't even show up for the hearing? I mean, that's what got him suspended before. How could he be reinstated if he wasn't there?
As I say, it was bizarre.
Was Bobby Heenan there?
Bobby Heenan was there.
Bobby Heenan was there?
Yes, he was.
What did Mr. Heenan have to say to all this?
I'm sorry, that's privileged information.
Tunney, I'm tired of you privileged information. Jesse the Body Ventura's the man who needs to know, who needs to get it out to the World Wrestling Federation. I'll find out. I realize your lips are sealed. You probably don't even know what went on there anyway. But I'll tell you what, the body will get to the bottom of this.
Privileged information? Give me a break. You were there at the hearing, were you not?
Yes.
Andre the Giant was not there.
That's right.
Well, tell us what went on.
Let's put it this way, once and for all. Obviously, the president of the World Wrestling Federation doesn't want to make a comment. How can I go over his head?
Please.
How can I possibly go behind his back and make a statement? If he wants you to know, he'll tell you. It doesn't concern me.
Andre the Giant didn't even see fit to come to the hearing. That's why he was suspended in the first place. He didn't appear at a hearing. Is that correct? Did you not spend a lot of money to get him suspended here in the World Wrestling Federation?
Well,
yes or no?
Well, wait a minute. Don't rush me on things like this.
And now you were at the hearing and you agreed to let him come back to the World Wrestling Federation? What did you say at the hearing?
You heard what Mr. Tunney said. Wait, let's get something straight here to begin with, right now. How much time do we have? Mr. Tunney, the president of the World Wrestling Federation, as you know and I know and the people out there, he presides over all the hearings.
You're not going to tell us
I'm going to tell you something.
You're not going to tell us.
He presides over. Will you let me? Wait, I don't know which camera I'm on. If you can point to a camera, I'll be glad to do it. What are you doing that for? Quit that.
What's transpired
now listen to this. Now wait a minute. Wait a minute.
What is it?
I'm
talking about the Honky Tonk Man and his appeal to get votes from the fans.
Then I'm not saying nothing.
We're going to go to a tape with Jesse the Body Ventura and the Honky Tonk Man with the voting results.
I'm going to tell you.
Jesse the Body Ventura and the World Wrestling Federation. I'm here with the Honky Tonk Man. And Honky Tonk Man, the time is at hand. The votes have come into the World Wrestling Federation on the big issue. Do they approve of you or do they disapprove of you? And let me tell you right now, 674,383 votes were cast, Honky Tonk Man, by the World Wrestling Federation fans.
Woo, that makes me feel good. I knew they'd love me, Jesse. I knew the World Wrestling Federation people. I knew they'd vote for the Honky Tonk Man. I knew I could persuade them. I knew they'd like the way I walked.
Wait a minute. I said 674,000 votes were cast,
Honky
Tonk.
That's right. That's what you said.
But only 71,111 voted that they liked you, that they digged you.
They did what?
603,000 people said the Honky Tonk Man, we don't dig your style.
No,
we don't like your greaseball hair.
That's not right.
Take a walk back to Podunk, Tennessee.
I don't think you got the figures right, Jesse. That can't be true.
That's the truth, man.
It can't be
sorry
true.
as it is, that's the truth.
That's it. I'm going right now to that big fat tunny, and I'm going to get to the bottom of this.
Whoa! The man is upset. The Honky Tonk Man, by the wishes of the fans, they don't dig him. I don't think the greaseball can handle that.
Did he say Fat Tunney or Jack Tunney?
Fat Jack Tunney, probably.
Jack Tunney seems to be right in the middle of all this controversy right now.
Well, then here's
and
the
you're
phone.
right in the middle
Here's
of all
the
this
phone.
controversy.
I'll pay for you. Call Jack Tunney then. You see if you
You
can
pay
get in.
for something?
Of course I'll pay for something. What kind of a guy you think I am?
You're a cheapskate and a liar and a very devious individual. Why don't you answer some of the questions?
A liar?
Yeah, a liar, yes. You resemble that remark?
I'm going to take that as a personal insult.
It is a personal insult. You should take it that way.
I've
what
never
transpired at the meeting? The special,
What meeting?
The special hearing in Toronto.
But the Honky Tonk Man, the votes were cast
No, we're not
against
talking about Honky Tonk. Now we're talking about Andre.
I don't know who Andre voted for. If he doesn't like the Honky Tonk Man, that's not my fault.
Boy, you are a sick individual.
I feel fine.
Obviously,
now, let's go
there's
to the next match.
Something very devious going down
we got,
right now, right here, in the realm of professional wrestling, right here in the World Wrestling Federation.
Nothing's going down.
We know what kind of devious things you can do. We know what you did with Benedict Arnold. We'll be back with Adrian in a moment. Well, we're back. You know, he got bent out of shape, didn't he, Honky Tonk? Is that going to affect him in any way, do you think? Hello?
I don't know.
You don't know. You don't know anything.
I don't care either.
You don't care. You don't know anything. You won't answer anything. Why are you here?
I'm here to make sure this show runs smooth. Quit that. You'll go blind.
Give me a break. I can't believe it. Honky Tonk Man, Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens, the opposition, the dreaded Mr. X. Let's go to ringside.
I love those pork chops on him. Those lovely sideburns. Taking all that gorgeous laundry off. See him? That's your Honky Tonk Man out there, Grandma.
Reminds me a little bit of Brutus Beefcake.
Yeah, he kind of does in a way, you know. But I'll tell you what, Beefcake's in a class all by himself.
Let me ask you this, Johnny V.
Goes far right away.
How does Mr. X from Parts Unknown get through immigration here in Toronto? What does he put, Parts Unknown down on the immigration form? Or
well, I'll tell you what, that's supposed to be some attempt at a joke. I'll tell you what, I'm not into the career of Mr. X, if you want to know the truth. Not even to his approach to the border and his departing and everything, but I'll tell you what, he's a little gifted, a bit of an athlete there too. But I'll tell you what, the Honky Tonk Man is going to try to make his presence known here at WWF. The man from Memphis, Tennessee.
Sounds to me like you might be making some waves here and maybe trying to procure the contract of the Honky Tonk Man. Is that in the realm of possibility?
He's going to have to show me a little bit more. I like his style, I like his threads, I like the way he sachets around that ring, but he's just got to show the JV just a little bit more.
Honky Tonk unloading early here on Mr. X. Parts Unknown, Snapmare takes him over. Oh, drove the fist right into the forehead. And listen to the reaction of the fans. They're not giving him any support at all.
Oh, I don't know. What are they yelling out there? They're not booing, are they?
They certainly are.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let them boo all they want. They paid their money. And I'll tell you something right now. The Honky Tonk Man does not subscribe to the thought of the dry look.
Well, that's the Bro Cream look.
That's the Bro Cream look. Little dab will do you. In this case, I think you took a big whop and put it on there.
Took a big dab. You can bet on that.
A big dab will do you, Daddy-O. There he is. How do you view this guy? You've asked me now. How do you view this Honky Tonk Man? What's he show you? What doesn't he show you?
Well, he's showing me some wrestling ability and some style and some technique, but I think he's a little bit scrambled upstairs.
No.
Yes.
You mean he's a little soft, you mean?
Well, there may be some lights on, but I don't think there's really anybody home, John.
Jesus, one thing we do agree upon. But I'll tell you one thing, he's used to that Southern hospitality, and he's not getting it here in Toronto at the Maple Leaf Gardens.
Well,
there ain't no way.
He certainly went about it the wrong way in trying to get fans support.
Well, he comes out of there smoking. He comes out of that dressing room, you know, trying to be a nice guy.
Listen to the cheers here for Mr. X as he's starting to retaliate with some offense of his own. Honky Tonk Man hard in. A little bit slow on that approach by Mr. X.
He showed me something there. He bailed out good. Just at the right time. So he is showing me something.
You know, maybe you can tell us, Johnny V, where do guys get tights like this?
Well, it's not Sears and Roebuck, if that's what you meant.
Brutus Beefcake wears that type of outfit, and so do a lot of the up-and-comers of late here.
Right. It's kind of a new style. It's like the new wave.
Yeah, but where do they get them?
I don't know where they get them. I'll tell you something right now. Why do I always have to feel like I'm on some kind of... You interrogate me, you know? You don't talk.
Is that a Carlin Hildegard special, or...?
Well, let me just tell you, I think it could be a designer's type wrestling apparel.
Standing wrist lock by Mr. X. Takes the Honky Tonk Man down. Oh, look at that. Grabbed a handful of the mask.
It's all right. You know, it's usually the Mr. X that gets booed during the course of these professional matches. Now they're booing the Honky Tonk Man.
Well, the fans are definitely letting the Honky Tonk Man know how they feel deep down inside about him.
Which is what?
They hate his guts.
Oh. Geez, that's two things we agree upon.
Mr. X in an unusual
Now they
role.
cheer. See?
Yeah.
Now they're cheering. He hit him in the eyes and they're cheering.
Very unusual role for Mr. X. He's usually the one being booed out there, but here this week in Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens, it's the Honky Tonk Man who has raised the ire.
People are cheering everything that this Mr. X is doing to the Honky Tonk Man.
Double axe handle off the second turnbuckle on the inside by Mr. X, who has things going his way right now.
He's broken just about every rule here in this very short time of this match.
Nice block there by Honky. Oh, good. Excuse me.
Good.
Right under the heart muscle.
That's it. Bravo. What a punch. Boom. He gives that big Southern punch, brother. That big Southern Sunday punch. You got to give him credit for that.
Honky Tonk on the second turnbuckle on the inside. Oh, power fist right between the eyes of Mr. X. Could be all over here. Very nonchalant cover. Oh, the foot on the ropes. Referee breaks it up. Well, he didn't break it up.
No, he didn't.
Whoop. Big right hand, and X ducks underneath, and Honky Tonk tastes the hardwood floor.
These people, there's just nothing. This guy, everything he does, they're cheering this Mr. X. And who would think that a matchup of Mr. X versus the Honky Tonk Man, the people, they love this Mr. X.
Well, in the recent voting or the approval that he was seeking, I believe he got something like, I don't know, 33,000 favorable votes and 670,000 unfavorable votes.
Well, you don't have to be a mathematical genius to figure out he's at the short end of the mathematical conclusion, do you? Tell you what, they always say the liars always figure, but figures never lie. And I'll tell you what, folks, if that's how you feel, so be it. But he's a good-looking young athlete. He is, this Honky Tonk Man.
He's good looking.
He's a good looking guy. Maybe the people are jealous. And I've always referred to that in these broadcasts with you. I think a lot of these fans are just jealous out there of this kid.
Well, that's their prerogative.
That's true.
I'm surprised.
Do you hear these people cheering?
I'm surprised that the caliber of talent supposedly possessed by the Honky Tonk Man, he's having this kind of trouble with Mr. X.
Well, that's a point of, you know, earlier on in this.
What would he do in there against a Tito Santana or a Pedro Morales?
That's just the trouble with. You said, would I be interested in this man as far as a business proposition or whatever? I don't know, see? I don't know. He should have beat this Mr. X 2 minutes ago.
Irish whip in, no, reversal by Mr. X. Plants one in the lower abdomen, goes upstairs once again. Snapmare got Honky Tonk in trouble.
Better get up, Honky Tonk Man. Just don't lay there, baby.
X going to the outside. Oh, look at that move. Nobody home.
Now you bailed out on him again. Now you got to put him away, Honky Tonk Man.
High risk move by Mr. X.
You got him beat. Put him away. He's hurt. These fans are booing this kid. Everything he does, they don't like it. I don't care what this guy does. They do not like the Honky Tonk Man.
Well, fans here in Toronto, there's no in between. They either love you or they hate you.
I wonder how in Memphis. Do you think they'd like him down in Memphis, his own city?
They'd probably ride him out of town on a rail.
Well,
you know how Memphis feels about Elvis Presley, and this guy is a very poor imitation.
Well, he's not exactly giving him a love me tender.
Reverse neck breaker could be all she wrote here for Mr. X. It is.
All right, Honky Tonk Man.
a very unpopular victory here in Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens for the Honky Tonk Man, as you can hear the fans letting him know exactly how they feel. Let's get the official announcement.
There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the match, the Honky Tonk Man.
He's wiggling, isn't he? Oh, he's wiggling it.
He's wiggling, and the fans are booing. Hard-fought victory, but win over Mr. X by the Honky Tonk Man, and the fans do not like this individual. We'll be back.
Honky Tonk Man showing his true colors, Brain. I'm surprised you're not vying for his contract. Let's get back to the issue at hand. I really want to know, and so do the fans out there, Bobby. They want to know what transpired at the hearing in Toronto with President Jack Tunney.
Why don't you have Jack Tunney on as a guest?
Well, you were there. Why should we bother to have him on?
Because Jack Tunney won't talk about it.
Why can't? If he's
I don't know.
closed
Ask him. That's not none of my business.
He said it was privileged information.
Well, that's right. Maybe
it's not privileged to the public if you were there.
Are you putting me in the same level with the public?
Of course.
Please don't insult me like that.
We're here for the benefit of the public.
I'm here to help the public.
That's what
I'm trying to do. I'm trying to tell them what happened at the meeting.
Tell us what happened.
I can't tell you. Oh, I can tell you, but I won't tell you. Okay, what if I told you I'll tell you a little later on?
I'm going to find out. I guarantee I'll find out. We'll be back. Returning to the World Wrestling Federation with a vengeance, one Adrian Adonis, and bringing along with him Goodnight Irene.
That's right, Goodnight Irene. When that's slapped down, it is Goodnight Irene.
Well, earlier on in the program this week, we saw Mr. Paul Roma in a victory match that he won very impressively. However, he will have a much more difficult time, I'm sure, with one Adrian Adonis. Who's got a score to settle? We'll find out what it is. Let's go to ringside.
See Irene.
Ladies and gentlemen, this contest is scheduled for one fall. In the ring to my right, from Kensington, New York, weighing 235 pounds, Paul Roma.
Good-looking young athlete.
And his opponent, to be led towards the ring by his manager, the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, from New York City, weighing 275 pounds, the adorable Adrian Adonis.
The adorable Adrian, and there's nothing adorable about this man, not one thing.
I think he meant to say the obnoxious.
What is that? He has an oxygen mask? He has a little oxygen with him?
Yeah, it appears so.
Maybe it's air from New York City. Taking a little air.
He sure makes him happy. I don't know what it is there, McMahon.
I don't know either.
Maybe it's that stuff the dentist gives you.
Oh, well, you wonder what's in those containers.
Oh, I bet it's perfume.
No, look, do you smell that? Earlier, we saw Jimmy Hart with that sprayer, and Jimmy Hart was spraying. Ooh, I could smell it from here. That's horrible smelling stuff. And that's a horrible looking physique, if you ask me. However, we've stated before, there's the sprayer. Don't be spraying any more of that around. That stuff stinks. Adonis, the classic case of not judging the book by its color. He can move. This man is a consummate wrestler. Adonis.
He definitely is. You know, people may not agree with his lifestyle totally, but let me say this, he's a dangerous man in the ring.
Paul Roma takes him. No, he doesn't either. Hanging on the elbow there. Into the ropes. Referee asking for the clean break and gets one. This capacity crowd on Adonis's case. Many of them shouting Piper as a result of
what we saw last week, and I'm sure many of them would like to see. Roddy Piper, who is scheduled, of course, to appear in Piper's Pit this week. You can bet he's looking on somewhere. Paul Roma, young man who's really coming into his own in the World Wrestling Federation. Oh, missing with the elbow. Drop kick, nicely done by Roma. Roma charges in. Adonis, Bucky flip over the corner. Paul Roma missing with a drop kick.
And that's the experience of Adrian Adonis right there.
Ooh, my. Adonis hitting right down on Paul Roma, and there's a sleeper hold. Trying to fight his way out of it, Paul Roma.
And you know what the funny thing is about a sleeper hold, McMahon? Many times the thicker the neck, the easier it is to knock somebody out with it.
Just like that, I can't believe it, Adonis. With the sleeper hold. What is this? He has flowers in his hand, Adrian does. What's he gonna do with them? Trying to give some to the referee. No, he's not. What'd he do, cramp? I can't believe that. He crammed flowers in Paul Roma's mouth, just like they did last week to Roddy Piper.
Here is your winner, the adorable Adrian Adonis.
Adonis victorious as we take a look at Roma. And we'll take you back now to the replay. Wait a minute, referee trying to get Adonis to wake up Roma, but meanwhile, there's a replay.
Well, there you go. When the obnoxious one applies a sleeper hold, nobody can break off of it, and it works again.
Classic case of the sleeper hold. That's the way to apply it. Adonis, told by the referee. Ooh, my, to wake up Paul Roma. He's going to be embarrassed after this match. Roma, quite a contender and a young athlete who will certainly have his moment in future matches in the WWF. This was not one of them.
Boy, he's back in all his glory. Are you not? Let me ask you another question. Are you not friends with Adrian Adonis and the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart?
Get along with him.
Simple question.
I get along with him, yes.
What is significant about beating a guy? I know what's significant about beating a guy, but why stuff flowers down the guy's throat? What does that mean?
Well, he was host of the Flower Shop.
So?
I think he's sending a message to Roddy Piper to go back to Scotland and go door to door and sell bagpipes or something. That is a message to you, Mr. Piper.
Well, okay, you answered the question. Let's get to the interesting question. The reinstatement of Andre the Giant back into the World Wrestling Federation. You were at the hearing.
If you must, okay, if you must know.
Yes,
Jack Tunney has told me.
They would like to know.
Jack Tunney has told me to say nothing.
We'll be
now,
back
as much as I'd like to tell you, Jack Tunney's up between Jack.
Feature time this week here on Prime Time Wrestling, and it is a classic. Former Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion Tito Santana against a guy who I figure is really going to make some waves here in the World Wrestling Federation, the natural Butch Reed, and that horrible individual that manages him, the guy with the broken arm, the Slickster.
You don't like any managers, do you?
Well, I didn't say that. I said this horrible individual, and he is.
Okay, and you call me a liar. You call me a liar.
Let's go to ringside.
God knows what you said about Fred Glass.
This contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Tacula, Mexico, weighing 244 pounds, Tito Santana. His opponent, from Kansas City, weighing 255 pounds, the natural Butch Reed.
There isn't anything natural about this guy that I can see, Johnny, other than the fact that, well, very conspicuous by his absence, the Slickster.
Well, you never know. That Slickster may be lurking somewhere around these very boundaries of the Canadian border. And I'll tell you something, Monsoon, you know, a very self-assertive would be one way to look at him over that top rope, would be to describe the natural Butch Reed. The man is full of confidence, arrogance, and I guess he is the natural.
Are you trying to say, Johnny, that the Slickster could be possibly somewhere in drag here within the confines of Toronto?
What do you mean somewhere in drag? Now, are you referring to that man's prowess?
Some kind of a disguise of some kind.
Oh, I thought he was in drag here. Listen, the guy is a law-abiding citizen. And he's free to choose and dress like he wants to and throw money around like he likes to. And this is the man that he feels is going to be one of the best wrestlers ever in the WWF, Butch the Natural Reed. And I'll tell you what, I somewhat agree.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's got plenty more money right now than he had just about, 2 or 3 weeks ago, now that he's literally sold a contract of Hercules to one Bobby the Brain Heenan for a large amount of cash money.
That's right.
Would you happen to know how much money changed hands on that transaction?
No, I'm a funny guy, Monsoon. I've always managed to mind my own business.
Yeah, but I mean, as managers, you guys all stick together, Johnny. You all.
Well, we have speaking relationships with one another, professional relationships and others, but yet I've always minded my own business. I don't know if you catch the drift of that or not. I've always minded my own business.
I'm trying to enlighten the fans, John. Personally, I could care less how much money transpired and changed hands.
Your point's well taken, but I'm interested in this match right here. Look at this man.
Well, these are guys.
Let's talk wrestling, Monster. Let's not worry and dwell upon our figures. It's the trouble with people nowadays. Money, money, money.
Incidentally, talking about money and talking about our friend, the Slickster, I understand that most of his money was made in a very unorthodox manner.
Such as what?
I don't know. Ladies of the evening, I heard somewhere along the line as a rumor.
You know something? You know, you bringing those skeletons out of the closet, one too many times. I wouldn't doubt it. I was the one that initially made that statement about the ladies of the evening with Slickster.
Oh, you were the one that let it slip.
Oh, boy.
Santana now tying up in the middle with Butch Reed.
Too much.
This is going to be a classic matchup here in Toronto Maple Leaf Gardens. Oh, nice block on the right hand, and Santana unloads with one right between the eyes.
Well, I'll tell you something. This Butch Reed is going to get his initial test in the WWF because Tito Santana is one of the, I have to give the devil his due, is one of the best wrestlers we got here. There's no doubt about it.
Well, you said a mouthful that time. Former Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion of the world. Literally had the title stolen from him in the Boston Gardens by one not-so-macho man, Randy Savage.
You know, you're a very negative person.
Were you in attendance that evening, John? I was.
Oh, were you?
Sitting at ringside.
Well, you were. You're usually there at ringside, so what's the big deal? You're in every match.
I saw the foreign object. I saw it planted right in the kisser of Tito Santana to the blind side of the referee.
You know.
I saw the title change hands.
Right. So what do you want from me? Were you looking for a reaction from me? What do you want me to do?
I just want you to, I'm just acknowledging the caliber of talent of Tito Santana.
There he is right now. There's the caliber of Tito Santana. Poised and ready for the kill. But I'm going to tell you something right now. Butch Reed, do not take him lightly. The man is in great, great shape. He wants to beat Tito Santana here tonight. He wants to earn himself a reputation in the WWF by beating him right here in Toronto. And don't make no mistake about that.
Quite a reputation before coming here to the World Wrestling Federation.
Yeah, but that doesn't count unless you're here in the WWF. Here's where guys are made, and here's where men are broken. Here's where men are defeated. Here's where guys have to go sell the farm right here in the WWF, baby. This is it.
Are you referring to the Dream Team now? Or are you making some
you
reference
throw a lot
to
of curveballs here. Do you have some kind of Mexican food that's giving you some kind of an herpes situation or what? Quit putting me behind the 8 ball every time, will you?
Well, I was
just go with the flow here. Describe the action.
We're just thinking back to the Rosemont Horizon.
I'm going to have to give me an attorney to sit here with you next time.
Side headlock by Santana, trying to control the Natural, which is not an easy thing to do. This guy has an awful lot of ammunition in his arsenal. Got rid of him. Ducks underneath a wild right hand. Santana with a reverse chin lock here. I think he was going for a sleeper and didn't get it, John.
He was trying for the very move as you described, sleeper. Tito respects the Natural. Tito kind of backs off a little bit. Johnny Bonello, the referee there, is questioning the fact of his intentions of throwing a haymaker. And
well, what's wrong with that? Why should the referee, why should John?
It's illegal.
A haymaker?
One of your greatest referees of all time, Danny Davis. He doesn't let guys.
Danny Davis?
Yes, Danny Davis. He's a great referee.
Please, he's under very close scrutiny now by the World Wrestling Federation. He's about to be thrown out on his ear.
Jeez, that's not what I heard.
Well,
maybe he'll wind up in baseball.
You don't hear in baseball.
Hockey or basketball. He's a great official.
Please. Reversal now by the Natural. Look out. Hip lock reversed by Santana.
Butch Reed is saying, ouch.
Scoop slam. Drove him down into the canvas. Oh, there's a clever move right there.
See, now, if I was out there with Butch Reed as his manager, at this point I would get Butch Reed and I would say, come here, we're going to change this game plan around. Don't try to mix it up blow for blow with Tito Santana.
If you were the slickster, would you let Butch Reed go into this type of a match without being there at ringside?
Possibly not.
I don't think you would either.
No, I wouldn't. I'd want to be there with him. But he's a busy man, the slickster. You know, he just can't be there all the time. He's got other things going besides professional wrestling.
I'm sure he doesn't have to be there all the time, but when you've got your man involved in a match with the caliber of talent of Tito Santana and knowing what this match could mean to the career of the natural Butch Reed, it would certainly be in your best interest to be there.
It would behoove his interest, in other words, you're trying to say.
Yeah,
I agree with you. I agree with him. You know, I agree.
You're not thinking about going down to ringside and seconding or anything like that.
My friend, I have certainly had no thoughts or intentions of that at all.
Okay.
I'm just a mere spectator here, broadcasting this in WWF's Wrestling Challenge.
John, please.
That's all I'm doing.
I've seen you leave the broadcast position before.
Not too often, maybe once.
Right here in Toronto as part of the C&E Spectacular. You got very bent out of shape.
The trouble was I was about 9 miles in the sky and I couldn't do nothing.
Well, you were 40 feet high.
40 feet high. Elevation we're talking about.
Santana now rammed into the top turnbuckle by the natural Butch Reed.
I think the tide's going to change here and turn here a little bit in this match. I can see the tempo's changing already.
Oh, nice block by Tito. And now Reed gets rammed in.
I might have spoke too soon.
Look at that shot. That Mexican blood is flowing hot and heavy right now. Doesn't take much to get Santana bent out of shape.
No, it doesn't. I saw him go that way in a skycap one time at LaGuardia Airport. Nah, no.
Skycap?
Yeah, somebody lost his bags. He's got a temper, this kid. Deep down inside, he's got a temper.
Well, he was one of the most impressive of all Intercontinental champions I've seen come down the pike here in, say, 25 years.
The Jersey Pike, the Mass Pike, or Connecticut Turnpike? Come on, clarify.
The WWF Pike.
See, oh, the WWF Pike. That's the best pike of all. Side headlock, huh? I know my holds.
You got it. And look at Reed applying a bear hug at the same time, trying to counter, but it didn't work. But he'll get rid of him one way or another. Backs him into the ropes. Look out. Put his head down. Surprising me.
See, that referee should be stopping all those illegal moves like that.
What kind of illegal moves?
Well, you have a closed fist. You have knee drops to the chin. You know, he shouldn't let. See, a guy like Danny Davis wouldn't let that happen.
None of your guys ever do those things.
My guys? No, they have. Yeah, I'm just saying, but not with the consistency. This guy's going right out breaking the rules. Now, if you see Butch Reed get upset, who's he got to blame but Tito Santana?
Beefcake wouldn't do anything like that.
Beefcake? No, he's a law-abiding citizen, just like Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Shot off once again. Nice leapfrog by Santana. And a leapfrog once again by Reed. Oh. Well, Reed was so pleased with his leapfrog and he forgot to follow it up. Over for the cover, but no, 1 count only. Reed doesn't exactly know where he is right now. Nice takeover by the former champion. 2 count right down there. But that's all. Oh, look at a handful of tights. Where? Are you watching the monitor? What are you doing, John?
I was just looking at this.
Was somebody in the 5th row or something?
No. I was just looking at that look of bewilderment on Johnny Bonello, the referee's face.
Oh, look at that. You see that?
Where? Look at the look on the referee's face.
Not interested in the look on the referee's face. I'm interested on the handful of tights.
Oh. Well, maybe he's a former pickpocket, Tito Santana. I mean, you never know. I mean, the guy's got to be. You got to treat this guy with discretion here, man.
Once again into the tights.
Could be a pin here. He could sneak a 1, 2, 3 out, real quick on that guy.
Well,
that's a good hold. Grab the tights whenever you can. Do whatever you got to do out in that ring to win. Kick him, punch him, beat him, bust him. That's our custom.
Is that your motto? Win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat?
Well, that's Freddie Blassie's. Quote unquote.
Still maintaining control with the side headlock. You know, Tito, even though shoulders were down on the mat there moments ago with a handful of tights, all he had to do was turn loose of the headlock. He was in no danger of being pinned.
Well, you sure know your wrestling, don't you?
You know that as a ring veteran.
I certainly do.
Still put the tights on occasionally.
Yes, I do.
Irish whip in, drop down. Oh, he got it. Momentum was going.
There you see. Now you're going to see Butch Reed open up here, hopefully. Now's the
time.
Certainly a classic confrontation, as we suspected, for our feature this week here on Prime Time Wrestling. Tito Santana getting the worst of it right now in Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens, but let's be realistic. This one a long way from being over. We'll be back with the exciting conclusion to this match in just a moment.
Didn't ask me nothing.
Fans in Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens really excited over this particular matchup, and rightly so. This is a main event anywhere in the entire world, is it not?
It is.
You finally answered a question with a positive answer. Let's go back to the match.
No.
Do what you want.
Suit yourself.
Right now,
Tito
Santana
looks like
wishing he was somewhere else.
He looks pushes back there, and where's his hometown?
His hometown?
What's his hometown?
Do I have to tell you that, John, as many times as you've heard it?
You're not telling me. What's Tito Santana's hometown?
What do you always say it is? Tijuana?
No, it's Tijuana Taxi. What's his hometown? Look it
Tito
up.
Santana from Tacula, Mexico.
All right, he wishes he was in Tacula, Mexico right now.
With his mom.
I don't care who he wants to be with. He wishes he was anywhere but right now. You're going to see Butch Reed, the natural, opening up.
Well, he had a golden opportunity. He had Santana reeling there. Really didn't take advantage of the situation.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you want to know the truth, the inside gospel, he should be out there and keep pulverizing him some more. But let's wait and see what happens. He knows he's got Tito hurt. He knows that. And you can't make a mistake with Tito, even if he's outside the ring.
Reed just snaps him with a clothesline right across the esophagus area. Referee all over his... Why is he shaking his head? No, he didn't do it?
I have no idea. I'm right
Of course
here.
he did it.
No idea.
Stupid to ask in the beginning.
Slamming that head right into the mat. That's the way to do it. Keep on it. Stay on it. Don't give him a break.
You're supposed to be an unbiased color commentator. You're not supposed to be applauding and cheering here from the broadcast position.
I kind of like this Butch Reed. He shows me something.
Right on the jaw. Off the ropes with another one. Sends a former champion down to the canvas. Look out, dropping an elbow. Yes, well executed. 1 count, 2 count, right arm out of there.
Close but no cigar on that one.
Well, as Mean Gene Okerlund would say, only in horseshoes and hanger nades.
That's right, and also quoits. That's cantaloupes.
Reed very nonchalant about this cover. You're not going to beat a Santana that way. Going to a reverse chin lock now.
I think a submission hold would be more apropos here, as opposed to a pinhole. What about you?
Well, doesn't Butch Reed have some kind of a maneuver off the second or top turnbuckle, John,
right,
with a
good
flying elbow of some kind?
If he could take advantage of a situation like that. But Tito Santana's not just your everyday wrestler.
Well, Santana's got a lot of things in his arsenal. He's got that flying forearm, that patented figure-4 leg lock that he learned from the Hammer.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Barry. You know, he stole that off Greg the Hammer Valentine. Stole that off my man, Greg. He's coming alive here anyhow.
Santana fighting this reverse chin lock. It might have dropped underneath the chin and turned into a choke, but Santana fighting it in the crowd behind him. An elbow, not enough to break it. On a second one did. Santana trying to get a little air inside. Oh, runs right into a beautiful knee.
I told you I like this Butch Reed.
Doesn't seem to be worried about beating Santana. He's worried about messing his hair up.
Yeah, how about that?
Look at this blatant chokehold here.
Well, Butch Reed was playing a little possum, I think, there. A little Kansas City possum. They got possum out there in Kansas City, don't they?
Absolutely.
There they do.
He better be careful here. He'll get disqualified. And this is such an important match in his career.
You know, you speak about Kansas City right there. You know, he's a big wrestling fan.
I never mentioned Kansas City.
Funny you should bring it up. George Brett, the Kansas City third baseman, is a big wrestling fan. Stay right on him there, baby.
George who?
George Brett.
Oh.
It's a game called baseball. Get right on him. Come on. That's it.
But you're referring to Bret Hart.
No, not Bret Hart. George Brett, the baseball player.
Right hand to the midsection by Santana. And another one going downstairs now. Santana hurt, but look at calling on that intestinal fortitude. And he's loaded with some haymakers.
Intestinal fortitude. He's punching.
Oh, look at that. leverage using the tights, forcing Tito Santana right out through the ring ropes and onto the concrete once again.
See, that's what kills me. You know, that the guy punches the guy 6 times, the other guy grabs him by the tights, and everybody goes nuts out in the audience. You can never win, you know, these people. Look at that squirrel here. Here's a kid who should be locked up in somebody's basement somewhere. See, that's what kills me about some of these people sometimes. And then they figure I'm nuts, right?
Action's gone to the floor here in Toronto Maple Leaf Gardens once again. As the steel railing, one of the nemesis of Tito Santana in this particular matchup, got rammed in there several times already.
It looks like he's serving time, for God's sakes.
He's hurt. Well, you haven't won it yet, Butch.
Yeah, but he's getting close.
Both of these guys obviously in excellent physical condition, or neither one of them could have withstand this kind of punishment that we've had so far in this matchup. Bonello's telling Santana, get back in the ring. Don't you think Tito knows that?
Yeah, it's true. An astute observation on your behalf there.
You keep the other guy back, ref. Santana might make it back in there.
Hey, wait a minute. You can't go. You're supposed to be non-biased. If I'm supposed to be non-biased, you should be non-biased.
Well, I'm just trying to get the referee to do his job, John.
You know, if I didn't know any better, I think you're pulling for Tito Santana here. You know that, don't you?
No, absolutely not.
Well, you see him, but you're cheering for him. It's all right. You're
trying to get him back into the ring so we get this match going. Look at this sunset flip from the outside. Shoulders down, got the legs hooked. Could be all over now.
Good move, Reed. Atta boy.
Reed got caught by surprise there and embarrassed a little bit, and now he's dishing out the punishment once again. What a tremendous matchup. Fans just eating it up. Santana going to work with lefts and rights. Irish whip into the corner. Here comes Tito right into another knee.
Oh, good move by the natural Butch Reed. Here he heads up.
Give credit where credit is due to Butch Reed. That particular move by Santana was not telegraphed at all.
No, it wasn't.
Reed on the second turnbuckle on the inside right now. This could be the move I was talking about earlier on. That looks like a double axe handle coming up. Yes. Oh. Right to the cervical vertebrae area, to the back of the neck of Tito Santana. Could be all over right here. Former champion looks down and out. He's underneath the bottom rope.
He's in a bad predicament, there's no doubt about it. Saved by the bell, but in this case, he may be saved by the rope.
Look out, he's going to get hooked right on that bottom rope.
Yes. This Reed knows everything about this squared circle, you know. He's taken advantage of everything here in and around the ring, which is the true makings of a fine challenger.
That was a deliberate move there to maim, possibly, Tito Santana, and it could be construed as a disqualification in my book.
Well, it could be if they got to that point. But
Butch Reed didn't accidentally do that, John.
No, it's done on purpose.
Snapmare takes Tito over. He's going back to that chin lock once again. He had success with it earlier on. Santana's in a whole lot of trouble.
Certainly is. Johnny Bonello, of course, he's asking Tito if he's had enough, but I don't think that Tito will give up.
Well, this is not a submission hold. Bonello is checking right now to make sure it doesn't turn into a chokehold or a smother.
This has been a long, grueling match here so far.
This is the type of match I expected this to be. Uh-oh, maybe Santana's got a finger in the mouth here. He certainly did.
He's bitten him. You see that? He's actually bitten Butch Reed.
Nice knee lift.
He comes right back with a big giant knee lift. You see, I like that about this guy. He's hurt, but he's not hurt.
Two of the predominant reigning forces here in the World Wrestling Federation today getting it on here in Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens. Gorilla Monsoon along with Johnny B at ringside. Talk about great matches. You're seeing one right now.
You certainly are. This could be a main event anywhere in the United States or even the world. And I'll tell you right here on your TV camera, you're seeing a great matchup. In case you just tuned in, it's Butch, the natural Reed, against, of course, Tito Santana. And I say that 90% of this match, you've seen on top Butch Reed. And I'd have to give this match to Butch Reed if, in fact, it ended right now. Yes, I would.
Well, is he ahead on points or something?
He certainly is. In my book, he's ahead on points.
On
that's the only book I care about.
falls or predicaments, or what is it?
Well, it's too soon to say, but I predict that Butch Reed's going to win this match.
Okay.
Yes, sir, I do.
Would you like to, say, make a steak dinner out of that?
Well, it all depends. Some of the joints you hang around, I probably couldn't afford the tabs.
Santana fighting this reverse chin lock. As we take a good look at the big crowd here in Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens, Santana about out of it. If that arm doesn't stay up in the air, this one is history. Oh, the fingers up in the air. Santana showing he's still got, look at that. That's close to being a choke now as it slips underneath the chin.
It's close, but not a choke. I wouldn't say it's a choke, no.
Santana fighting desperately to get to his feet. He's made it.
A good chin lock.
Oh, look at that. He ran Butch Reed right around and into the top turnbuckle. Clever move on the part of Tito, but he's still in trouble. And Reed once again on the second turnbuckle inside. He got caught.
Certainly did.
And this crowd exploded. And look at Santana. He's about to explode. Hammering away for all he's worth right now. And Reed down. Action hot and heavy. Big backdrop.
Ouch. Butch Reed in a whole world of trouble right here, fans.
How quickly the tide can turn in the world of professional wrestling, and now it's Reed on the receiving end. Santana doesn't bother to hook a leg here, but the natural kicks out easily. Either one of these guys is ripe for the pickings right now.
They certainly are. It's very well evenly matched. Very well evenly matched.
Side headlock. Santana gets rid of him. Wow, I think they hit head-to-head.
Certainly did. Two locomotives.
Referee Bonello now starting the double count on both men.
Santa Fe just ran into the old New York Central, brother.
Well, Reed's up. That'll stop the count. I don't know what kind of shape he's in, but he's on his feet.
He's going, though, isn't he? He keeps coming at him.
Certainly does. Full speed ahead. He knows the importance of this match.
A win here over Tito Santana.
Look at that move.
Oh, he's full of moves.
Just rammed the head of Santana down into the canvas. He could be knocked out here. Could be all over. 2 count.
Got a winner.
Oh! 3 count almost hit the canvas.
Come on, Butch. Put him away.
Side headlock once again. Santana's got him hopping around. Oh. Perhaps we'll see a figure 4 leg lock here. Yes. Oh, Reed kicked out before he could get it completed. And this crowd is going bananas as Santana now goes to work on the left knee of the natural Butch Reed. We're going to see that figure 4 before this is over.
I wouldn't, in fact, here to see it right now.
Here it comes. Santana's got it.
He's got him set up into a figure 4 leg lock, and that is a devastating hold.
Right in the center of the ring. Oh, the bell has rung.
Did he give up?
I think he did.
What do you mean he gave up? I didn't see him give up.
Santana thinks he hurt him.
Did he give up? That's what I want to know.
Well, we'll find out in just a moment, John. You may owe me a steak dinner. Referee now explaining it.
I don't think, did he give up?
To our ring announcer. Let's go up to our ring announcer.
I believe it.
Ladies and gentlemen, as time has expired, the referee's decision, a draw.
There you go. I didn't think he gave up. I'll tell you what, I'll give you this much though. Perhaps if we weren't close to that curfew time, if it was a longer match, perhaps maybe. But he did not give up.
Let's hear what Santana has to say.
I came here to win. You weren't looking for a fight, brother. Come finish the job.
Santana is saying here he didn't come here to get a draw. He came here to get a win. He's saying, let's do it right now.
You better get quit. Quit while the quitting's good, Tito.
Let's give the people a winner.
You're lucky this guy don't block him side the head for saying something like that.
Referee, oh, look at that sucker shot from the outside by Reed.
What do you mean a sucker shot?
Well, he was tied up with the referee, wasn't he?
I don't know.
And now it's Reed going to work on Tito.
That knee doesn't look too bad to me. I think he was playing possum.
A block. Santana loads with the right hand. And there goes Reed headed for higher ground. Tito still wants a piece of him. Well, you didn't win the match, Butch.
You'll get him some other day, Butch Reed.
He lost because he didn't win, and you lost because he didn't win. One steak dinner.
I thought you were
predicted victory for the natural. What a fantastic matchup here in Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens between these two giants here in the World Wrestling Federation. The natural Butch Reed, who still goes undefeated. And of course, everyone knows the caliber of talent of Tito Santana.
A great test for Butch Reed, would you not say, Monsoon?
Obviously, I haven't seen a match of this caliber in quite some time here in the World Wrestling Federation, and a testament.
Now you know that Slick's got himself a winner. Butch the natural Reed.
To the unbelievable ability of these two fantastic wrestlers. A draw here in Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens between Tito Santana and the natural Butch Reed, who will be back.
Well, not the kind of a result that I would care to have in that kind of a match. I think that, I don't know, I don't think that the natural Butch Reed could be very happy with that kind of result. Time limit ran out, match is declared a draw. Doesn't help his career. So, where are you?
Where
are
am I?
you at
Sitting right
40,000 feet and climbing, or
no,
or what?
Sitting right here.
I'm talking about the natural Butch Reed and the result of that match. Time limit ran out, it was declared a draw.
That's right.
Doesn't help his career, does it?
I don't care.
How does it affect Andre the Giant's career and his return to the World Wrestling Federation?
I didn't see him in that match. When you talk about
wasn't in that match, and
then
he
why are
wasn't
you
at the
trying to put him
hearing
in
either.
this kind of a match? They didn't have a hearing there. That was a match between Butch Reed and Tito Santana.
Tell you what
are you, blind?
We're rapidly approaching the holiday season, and I
I've got my red jacket on.
promise the wrestling fans on Primetime Wrestling that I'm going to give to them what went on in that particular hearing in Toronto, Canada,
Yeah,
of which this man was a guest. Well, fans, that wraps it up for another week here on Primetime Wrestling. And, you know, next week,
It's good enough for
mark
me.
this down on your calendar, we're going to be on Wednesday. That's Wednesday of next week, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 Central.
What does that
this?
say? Tell me what that
It says Beverly Hills Police.
That's right. My boys here told me I don't have to answer nothing.
You don't have to answer anything, because as I promised the fans earlier on in the program, I'm going to find out myself. You can just sit there and say nothing, keep your stupid face shut. You don't have to say a word. I definitely will find out on my own, maybe with the help of Jesse the Body Ventura, what's going on. Until then, Gorilla Monsoon for the silent one.
Merry Christmas.
Saying so long till next week.
Hope you get everything you asked for.